stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Mo? What's up, Jack, huh? My newest kitty. Come here. Come here. Oh, you're getting too fat. Hey, this guy was skinny. You could see his ribs. Huh. All right. Oh, I forgot to share on Facebook. Should probably do that. Give me 1 second. I'm only going to put it to a couple places. How come every time I start to pet Jackie, you come in here and you're like, meow, when you had all day to do it? You had all day to do it, dude. At least you're not hissing at him anymore. I'm a kitty. I'm a kitty cat. Do, 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 do. I torture my cats. So, hey, he's going to come right down by you. Better watch out. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sawyer, give it up, man. Give it up. Yeah. Been doing some organizing today. Making my grandkids do a little stuff. They don't know it. They don't know it. Why is that? Okay. Plug it back in. I always forget to do this part. Doink. There. Sounds probably a little different. I don't know because nobody will tell me. Let me know if the sound just changed, if it got better, if it stayed the same. If it didn't change, let me know because I need to know whether I should just go ahead and use this one. Oh, that connects straight to a board. Fuck, man. Fuck. And I guess I can put headphones in that one too. And yeah, kind of nifty. Kind of nifty. It's not as good as my Bluetooth was or my Blue Yeti was. I think kicked ass, man. I want another one of those. Yeah, I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram and I heard somebody talk about this. I'm like, that's a good topic for what we do. So we talk about friendships and things like that. I'm kind of learning, really, we alcoholics, man, I didn't have many friends growing up. So I just don't really, will that fit my, sorry, I think that might fit my Blue Yeti. If it does, I'm going to try it. So I can be disappointed because it ain't going to work. All right. Welcome to the Daily Charge. I'm Dion. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Of course, it is not required. This is anonymous. All right. And thank you, everybody, for coming and supporting Ingrid in that meeting. I think it's neat that there's several of us who kind of meeting hop and support each other. Isn't that kind of what friendship is about? Did you? I just didn't see it. So it didn't change the sound. That's what's the fucking point in having the damn thing? So thank you. Leisure twice in one day. You must be on vacation, or I caught you at the right time. Usually I catch you in the morning. All right. So I'm going to be learning here too. So let's get to it. There are multiple matches for 3 levels of friendship, including Aristotle's 3 types of friendship and the 3 stages of friendship. So the first, Aristotle identified 3 types of friendship, and the first friendship is friendships of utility. If I work, stuff like that. A transactional relationship with someone you're connected to because of mutual benefit. For example, a work friend or study group member. I always like to turn this into what we say or what we, in AA. Yeah, that's the 3 fine. Okay. That's because it's not using the right one. There it is. That's why the sound didn't change, because it wasn't connected. Did the sound change this time? For reals, I mean it. I am, look at me, I'm so lucky because I got leisure twice in one day. How many people get that, man? A lot of competition out there for leisure's attention. Friendships, I got tons of them, and most of them are in AA. You bet. AA meetings, those are friends of utility. Are they not? I don't talk to them outside of the meetings. And yeah, there may not be a money transaction going on, but there is a transaction going on. And that would be on a spiritual level, right? When we share our experience, strength, and hope, that is on a transactional level. Thank you. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. I'm going to try and see if I can't get my Blue Yeti to work. If not, I'm going to do a shit ton of podcasting. December is going to be, it's my podcast. There's nothing else going on. Tomorrow I'm going to have Jamie Primer Johnson back on. She's a great speaker. We had a lot of fun last time. But she's like, yeah, I've gone through some things and I've grown and I want to share it. She also runs the oldest running skate place, roller skating rink in Colorado. Yes, and she keeps kids off the streets and things like that. Very much in recovery, right? Because she's on here. So that's a friendship of utility. I don't talk to her often, but I went through that last week. I'm like, how can you support me? Well, come on the podcast, man. Come tell your story. Because when you tell your story and then your friends hear it, then they want to listen to more of my stories. That's how it works. It's an attraction thing, right? But yeah, we do it quite often. Sponsors, sponsees in the very beginning, right? I bet we'll talk about that more when we get into the stages of friendship. Friendships of pleasure. A relationship based on mutual admiration, shared enjoyment. For example, a college friend or someone on a sports team. There again, we're talking for us, that is the fellowship, not just the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. Because I have some friends, I talk to Pastor Marsha all the time. She's non-alcoholic, but we don't really talk about alcoholism. Now we talk about spirituality. What can we do to help the community heal? How can we reach more people? And I get pleasure out of that because I love helping other people. God, my lazy eye is really, well, I'm gonna look this way. No, this way. There we go. This is my lazy eye. See how it's a little off center? Yeah. All right. Perfect friendship. A relationship where people are united by a shared love that elevates their behavior to virtue. Aristotle believed that the perfect friendships are rare and that people may only have one in their lifetime. We're a group of people that just got the shit kicked out of us. See, isn't it cool that because you are an alcoholic, you get a little bit more of these perfect friendships? We didn't have any friendships, So when we find these, man, what a fucking relief to find out that, for a long time, I just figured nobody wanted to be my friend. I figured I was that jacked up. I'm sure you felt that way too. So, I don't know that I've ever had a perfect, well, my wife, but I've got a lot of perfect friendships in AA and in my life. But why do we get to do that? How come you and me get to do that, but people that are non-drinkers don't get to? Huh. It's shared trauma. Shared trauma. We were all fucking picked on. Most of us were anyway. People that listen to me were probably picked on because you relate to me. Oh, I went through that too. And you got an answer. Okay. I like it. Yeah. Well, what would that be? Well, that'd be a friendship of utility. I've got hundreds of thousands of those. Right. So the 3 stages of friendship, but the thing is, they're only showing 2. Oh, 3 stages of friendship are contact or acquaintance, involvement, and intimacy. That's 4 though. What are the 3 stages of friendship? Here we go. The first level is contact, acquaintance level. Right? And that's not a stage though. They're just in stage 3, intimate mutual serious. Okay. What is level 3? Friendship. They did a very bad job at this. Let's just go 3 level friendship, Aristotle, and we can screw all that. All right. It's just saying the same thing. All right. But let's go ahead and go over it. Okay. One of the most confined, there we go. Confidants, constituents, and comrades. So constituents would be that first one. Friendships of utility. Are you not my constituents? All right. Who has constituents? Usually political people. Do I have constituents? Yeah, you do. Got 2 of them right now. In today's world, we would call that followers, which, by the way, is not proper English, so you know. Constituents is. I'm just saying that to push buttons, so you know. Comrades would become next. I think. This is what I think. That would be a friendship of pleasure. Yeah. You know, we have running jokes or... Yeah, would you tell my right eye to get to work? Sometimes this works. Nope. Didn't work that time. I used to fuck with people like this all the time. Well, I can actually bend my fingers. Watch this. See how they're bent? Watch this shit. Kind of hurts them. Gotta do the other one. Oh. Now they're straight. Right. Comrades, we have running jokes. I can say rule 62. That's all you gotta know. Oh, okay. Got it, Dion. First things first, live and let live. Yeah, live and let live, my friend, you know. And those are comrades. And that's kind of a brotherhood. You know, they talk about the joining us on the broad highway quite often, and that would be our comrades, the people that, you know, we're kind of going through this stuff with. And then there's confidants. Yeah, well, I'm ringmaster, motherfucker. Then I'm the ringmaster. Don't give me a whip. I'm very good with whips. I don't know why. Maybe it's my lazy eye. Sweetie. So confidants. What's a sponsor-sponsee kind of a situation? Did we go through all those first?
We found some.
Did you? Okay. You gotta take that. Oh, you're putting it in the other one. Okay. So confidants, I mean, we use that quite often. You know, don't we? Isn't it often that we put our confidence in other people? And what is that? Is that we're trusting them when we say something that's not going to go somewhere else, right? And isn't that confidence in other people? What else? What are 3 C's? I already did that. Look at that. I've already ran out of shit to say on it. I think I got it. Let's do this. Because 15 minutes is it's too fucking short. 15 minutes used to be the limit. Then I turned into a circus and I could keep you entertained for however long. I'm going to go to Courage to Change. I did read it earlier. I think I kind of remember what it said, but I know that it was on the choice earlier. Oh, shit. Okay. I gotta pay my child support. Okay. Yes, I'm still paying child support. She's going to get $100 a month till I die. She ain't getting all her money. It ain't gonna happen. All right. No. Yeah. She didn't bother to show up to my granddaughter's birthday party. She ain't getting shit. And I didn't get invited. And we had a little talk about it. That ain't happening ever again. Because I'm the one that shows up. All right. Yeah, they had she's in the other room, so I can't talk very loud. But yeah, they had a birthday party, and nobody fucking showed up from the family. And they're like, "Don't invite Dion because we don't like him." My family would have showed up. All right, November 26th. Feeling that I don't belong has been a problem all my life. No worries. And was asked to be a sponsor. I said, yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's a great start to a friendship. Yeah, you've never gotten any. Why does somebody owe you child support? I would tell people I don't have my license. And even before my drinking got really bad, they're like, oh, DUI. No, I'm like, because I rode the bus. So they just assumed I got a DUI. But no, that's not it. No. When you don't, in Colorado, if you get arrears, if you get behind on your child support, the first thing they do is take your driver's license. I know. Actually, the first thing they do is take your passport. This country is so free. I'm not allowed to leave it. That's not very free. Right. Okay. Let's get back to this. Feeling that I don't belong has been a problem all my life. Man, that's why I liked it. And this is in Al-Anon. They didn't feel like they fucking fit either. No wonder we're so attracted. I tried my hardest, but I always picked a codependent. Always. I couldn't help it. This is especially true when I first came to Al-Anon. My attending seemed wrong because there was no alcohol in my household as a child. It was my grandparents who drank. Especially if it's Jefferson County. I've done 6 months of jail time. See, that makes no sense either. They put me in jail for 6 months where I can't pay my child support. I got work release. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something. I have no idea how I made it because you have to pay your rent and work release, and they do not take your child support into account. And they were taking 65% of my check. Sometimes I'd get a paycheck and it was like $7. I'm not kidding. I'd get my paycheck and I'd not have enough money to go back to work to continue paying my child support. It's a mess. They left me a message last month. They're like, what do they say? You are delinquent. And left me a kind of a scathing message. And I called her back and I said, no, we are in arrears. I am not delinquent. Don't you dare call and threaten me again. Okay. This is like my 20th caseworker. And I did talk to a person that used to work at Jefferson. I went, this is when I was a recovery coach. I went to go help somebody get their driver's license. Let me use my car to get their license and shit. And I was talking to this lady because I talk to everybody. Otherwise, you're just sitting there staring at your phone. Right. And she used to work there. And I asked her, I'm like, are you owed child support? She's like, yeah. I'm like, do a lot of people that work there, are they owed child support? They're like, yeah. I'm like, isn't that a conflict of interest? She goes, yeah. All right. So in this case, it was my grandparents who drank. And they were probably a single child too. Now, we've talked about the dysfunctional family. What is that? Because, see, I believe, and this is opinion, even though it's been proven, that this is a hereditary disease, just like heart disease, like cancer, like some other things. Sometimes it skips a generation, sometimes it skips two. Okay. But it's quite often. Go listen to some of the stories where people grew up and there was never any alcohol in the house. And I always ask the same question. I said, was it because one of your grandparents was a heavy drinker? Oh yeah, that's why there was no alcohol about it. What? Ingrid, trudgingtogether.com. That's it. That's all you need to know. Trudgingtogether.com. Yeah, that's where you can always send them. I send you guys links and stuff because I love you. But yeah, he can catch them all there. What that tells me is I'm not doing a good enough job of communicating where you can find it. That's what that tells me. So thank you, Ingrid, for saying that so that I'm aware of it. And I'm glad to hear that somebody, yeah. Thank you. See? Traction, not promotion. Probably thought it was cute. Just kidding. I used to work at this place called EPS, and there was this guy here. You just knew he was gay, all right? Not that. And one day I'm clocking in, and he was talking about some magazine to another girl, some men's magazine. I gave him crap, and he's like, oh, yeah, there was one guy that looked like you in there, Dion. I'm like, oh, shit, huh? He goes, where were you in October? And I said, yeah, you'll never know. Now you can watch me walk away. Oh, he was such a cool guy. He really was. All right. So they had grandparents that drank, right? So sometimes when you have like the hero or the lost child who usually doesn't become the alcoholic, they don't want alcohol in the house because they had bad experience with it. They don't want it, and they have every right. Okay. All right. At that first meeting, I learned that alcoholism is a family disease. It's one of the parts that we're missing. We are. Okay. When I first came to AA, if you went to an AA meeting, there was always an Al-Anon and an Alateen meeting at the same time. Always. And the family showed up. The family showed up. I know. No, he doesn't. I'm just having fun, honey. But thank you. I'm glad that I get to do that for people. It's probably the one thing I do hear the most. But I will tell you this. When somebody says, I get asked that a lot. Bullshit. I always get asked bullshit. They're lying to you. No. People are different. They don't ask the same stuff. Not only that, but if you're good at what you do, if you get asked the same question a lot, you'll put it in what you talk about. That's what leaders do, right? Ingrid said, where do I find them? Like, okay, Dion, see, you're not putting it out enough. That means I need to start pushing the website again, even though it looks like shit. So it's a family disease. My alcoholism affected every single person in my family. I've got a big family. Some won't even talk to me anymore. Some didn't even know me when I was drinking. They didn't meet me till I was sober. They still don't want anything to do with me. So gosh, I had a chance at 2 different families. They never wanted me. I removed them from my Facebook. No, nothing in here, nothing. Don't give a fuck. Okay. So what does that come down to? Well, my wife and my kids, my grandkids. And now I'm a pretty good example for them. Right? Because I was the one that went around and did this and did that. And, yeah. Even and I'm not having to say anything. Even my daughter's now understanding. If you listen to our talk yesterday, she goes, I fucking hate AA. She was talking about Alateen because when Shannon would, I go to AA meetings, but then there'd be Al-Anon meetings and Shannon would take the kids and she'd make them go to Alateen. And that's why she hated it. But she's saying, but now I kind of get it because I'm a little bit older and now I understand. But see, even in the beginning there, then they kind of at least understood what I was going through. That didn't make it a good excuse. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day and they walked somebody who's popular in Colorado around this field and they were rude to them even though they were there volunteering, right? They actually mocked them. Me. And she went to somebody else about it and they're like, well, he has social anxiety. You just don't understand. Well, you know, if you're going to run around and be all this stuff, then maybe you should go heal from your social anxiety first. See, even that's a lie. That's bullshit. It's narcissism through and through. It is. Opinion only on that one. Because I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Unless you count all my time and training. If we did stuff off experience, I'd have a PhD. I would. When it comes to life and alcoholism, I have a PhD, man. Doesn't mean I know more than you. It just means I've had a lot of experience. That's all it means. Okay. All right, I'm going to start. Okay. It affects not only the person who drinks, but those who care about him or her. Indeed, the effects of this disease are often passed from one generation to another. When I heard a description of some of those effects, I recognized a profile of myself. For the first time in my life, I was with people who knew what I was going through. Gosh, doesn't this fit right into the 3 types of friendship? That you could take any topic in the world that's kind of situated this, and it'll fit right into AA. It'll fit right into the 12 steps. Why is that? I say it often, I'm going to say it again, because AA is cognitive behavioral therapy with God. That's why. See, the clinical side and the 12 steps are supposed to do this, okay, and give you a nice steeple, you know. See, it's nice and you can't move it. See, it's tight. But what's going on now, since everybody's clamoring for all this and all that, this is what's happening. And nothing will change if we do that. We're just butting heads. We're arguing over what's right because everybody wants everything. Got to be very careful on that. You know, also be very careful on your cross-talk at me, because I said pat yourself on the back and somebody took it wrong. Don't pat yourself on the back and do it. And I wanted to correct him. I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, okay, just because you don't have enough self-esteem yet doesn't mean you should put down other people. Careful. Yeah. When I speak and people have gone before me, what I will try and do is, if somebody did kind of tick me off, if maybe I got an intrusive thought, let's call it that. They didn't piss me off. I got an intrusive thought. That's what happened, right? Okay. I will not bring those up when I speak. They're intrusive thoughts. They're no good. So, but if somebody said something encouraging, I'm like, yeah, that's it. And that's what I do. Because if I switch to solution, then I'm not going to be focused on that person anymore, which is the right thing. I shouldn't be focused on that person. That person has their own stuff. And they're going through a lot of shit that I don't know about. You know, here's another good example. It was I guess they're calling them popcorn meetings now. They're tag meetings, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. And so he was calling on somebody. He's like, get off your phone. And the way they said it was a little call-outy. And then that person was like, My grandma is in the hospital, felt it. So, so be very careful because I know that person probably felt guilty after that. Yeah. So, for the first time in life, I was with people who knew what I was going through. Isn't there such a relief? Every time I think of the fact that I am at least surrounded by at least 4 or 5 people that understand what I'm going through, it's nice. People believe in me. They trust me. Okay. Wow. They trust me they trust that I'm human. And if you piss me off, I will throw a book. If we can't laugh at it, then I haven't healed from it, have I? It is what it is, man. Today I see clearly that I have in fact been affected by the family disease of alcoholism. Al-Anon offers me a way to do my part in breaking this family pattern. I can get off the merry-go-round by choosing recovery. Now, here's something. Okay. Because offers me a way to do my part in breaking this family pattern. Well, before, they just said, this disease is often passed from one generation to another. Okay. Now, are we breaking generational curses? What are generational curses? Alcoholism, you can't break. No, you can't. You cannot break that generational curse unless you are some kind of demigod that can change DNA. No, you can't. But you can be a great example so that their drinking careers are very short. That's what you can do. So what are the generational curses? Well, it's anger. It's anger. Listening. Not anger, trauma, whether it be emotional or abuse. Let's go with abuse instead. Okay. What kind of abuse is there? Well, just like us, there's physical, there's emotional, there's mental, and there is spiritual. All 4 of those things are forms of abuse. But what do we alcoholics also have to work on? Our spiritual. See how it's the opposite? Why does that fit? Because one's good and one's bad, and that's what we're really talking about here. Okay. But generational curses have to do more with things that are set in stone. Like my dad used to beat me with a belt. Okay. I did nothing. I broke a generational curse of physical abuse. Now, my son is breaking another generational curse. My dad, my biological father, was not around. I was not around for him. And now he's doing everything he can to make sure that he is there for his son. That is breaking a generational curse. And I'm proud of him for it. And I've told him. My daughter's breaking generational curses. She's raising her children much different than the way she was raised. Okay? But you cannot stop a mental disease. You cannot break that. That's not a generational curse. That is a mental illness that is passed from one person to another. Okay. Today's reminder, and I saw that. Thank you, Leisure. I appreciate that. I do. Thank you. Today's reminder, in Al-Anon, I find people who understand as few others can. If I have been affected by the drinking of another, I need not doubt that I belong. Yeah. We have AA, right? But if you have an alcohol, my mom, she was alcoholic. She still is. My stepdad, he's alcoholic. I qualify for Al-Anon too. I do. Personally, I prefer ACA because they're more around boundaries and healing trauma, where Al-Anons are just mean. Well, they call it boundaries, but they need to learn some tact. Just fucking around. every group has its apples, whether they're red, green, or bad. Right? No matter what the difficulty, no matter how unique we may feel, somewhere nearby are men and women with similar stories who have found help, comfort, and hope through recovery in Al-Anon. Ingrid, I'm also going to send you the link for my Podbean, and because if Josh wants to hear, I know people call this a podcast, but it's not. I'm going live. A podcast, I have to edit and do all this other stuff. It's fine. You can call it what you want. But if they want to see everything, then there's going to be a couple of links. So I'm going to send those to you. You know, like if they want to follow me on Facebook, or, you know, because my lives, and I should put it in my Podbean, but that means I would have like 3 or 4 podcasts a day, and I can't separate. I only have one thing. So then you'd have to hunt to just get to a story. Right now you kind of do. And I don't like that. I may have to separate them. And I want to do that because then I'd have to lead people to a different podcast. And then, yeah, it gets very confusing really quick. So, because I do different things. And we can call them what they want. I don't care. I used to be like, no, those are lives. But in a sense, it is a podcast. You know, the only difference between this and a podcast is usually another person. Podcast is usually, for me anyway, is interviewing. And I edit it. It's like the only difference. And the podcasts usually aren't live. If it's a story, if it is, ouch, it is somebody, story, leisure, don't you ... me. He's giving me shit. So, it does get it can get confusing fast. It really can. So, I don't want to think about it anymore because it's making my head hurt. So, all right. So, yeah, we have found out different, and really it isn't any different than what we thought, huh? Right? So, I have acquaintances, and I have hundreds and hundreds of freaking acquaintances. I know a lot of people. And when I need something, I call them. They need something, they call me. It's an acquaintance. For me, in my world, it would be called a resource. A resource. Oh, I know who you're talking about now. I was trying to figure out. He was the guy. Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, he's a cool dude. If he has some, and you know what? I'd tell him that if he qualifies, I'd love to have him on the show. I've only had one LGBTQ, only one, and I need more of them because it's a different story. It's a different story, right? I mean, it's just a different lane. So yeah, I mean, if anybody from that group, I need more. So, and if he's funny, even the better. Because if he's funny and I'm funny, then we'll just have a gay old time. See? By gay, I mean fun. Gosh. So. All right. I'm going to go because I'm really curious to see if this makes my Blue Yeti work. It's not going to, just so you know. But if you pray for anything for me today, pray that my Blue Yeti was not broken. Even though it is. You had me on LOL. Yeah, I had you on. Oh, I didn't know that, Amber. Well, I did know that, but I didn't remember until you reminded me. Yeah. That's a good point, Amber. Because Amber's bisexual, so yeah, I guess I did have more. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. I love you. I really do. Peace out. And Oh, you can't say it.